Alrighty, guys, welcome back to another episode of So What's Your Goal? I'm your host, Travis Otto, and we're coming to you live from Las Vegas today in my studio. Now, you guys are going to want to pay attention to our next guest here because he's truly an exceptional guy. He has to deal with real estate. And, lately we've been getting a lot of new listeners. So if you're new to the show, stick through to the end because I can assure you that you will learn something that will improve your life in at least one of three categories, either your health, your relationships, or your money. But most importantly, you'll be inspired to take action. So today we're joined by none other than Jacob Anderson, a name that is synonymous with success in the Las Vegas real estate scene. From his early days in construction to becoming one of the top 100 realtors in Las Vegas recently, Jacob's journey is nothing short of inspirational, known not only for his business acumen, but for his philosophy in enhancing others' lives by helping them. Jacob has mastered the art of real estate and truly has an enviable life with a passion for cars, breathtaking views, unforgettable experiences. Jacob's approach to real estate is not so much about transactions as it is people. Jacob, welcome to the show, man. How are you?
Good, man. Thank you. How are you?
I'm fantastic. It's a great day to be alive in Las Vegas here. I guess I need this, actually. So you are in the Las Vegas real estate game. Is the market on fire right now?
It is. It's difficult to say. In the Vegas market, it definitely is. But, as a USA bound is a little bit of a different scale. But in the Vegas market, 100%. But the
United States as a whole, is it up or is it down?
As of right now, year over year, we're up. But, if we're trying to look at it from like a 2021 standpoint, I think we're down just slightly. But I know in the Vegas market, we're definitely already over 2021. We've been skyrocketing.
I mean, Vegas is a unique market.
100%. Yeah.
But I think the question everybody wants to know is, now is a good time to buy a house?
I think it's always situational. If you need a house, get a house. It's better than renting. 100%. It's at least turning into a bank account for you, in my opinion.
So my last guest on the show, he told me that, renting or buying a home is a bad investment if you're an individual. Grant Cardone says buying a home is one of the worst, investments you can make.
Right.
Do you agree with those statements?
I mean, I don't want to use other people's words, but other people have also explained that the reason Cardone doesn't like to buy his house is because he's doing much bigger things than just a fucking house. Okay. But if you're one individual, I think, and you have the means to buy a house, you should go buy a house, but don't just buy anything. Try to buy something that's worth it, that you can maybe get a little bit of equity in or even fix up a little bit. It's not that difficult to do.
Okay. But how can you buy, with the Vegas market happening right now, how are you going to get a good deal on a home right now when the market's up?
Anybody can get a good deal if you know where you're looking for it and you give it the right amount of time. You're not just going to go out there and find the exact good, best deal on a car that you want to go get like today. It's not going to happen.
Sure.
You need to do a little bit of diligence and get with someone who knows the areas that you want to purchase in and make a smart decision. Over time, it'll pan out. Actually, Travis here is a great example of that. I think that dude made like $500K in like 3 years off of buying from me. So
we've made some good real estate transactions together, to say the least.
And, if anybody's really worried about it, like just get with someone who really knows their stuff and go assume someone's loan. It's not that difficult. It takes time, and sometimes you can't have it. But if you get with a good realtor, they'll do their due diligence and they'll find out if that loan's even going to be able to go through or not with the correct bank that they're
That's one thing I want to talk to you about. So if anybody follows Jacob on social media, he has a little bit of a presence here, especially in the Las Vegas market, but he's always posting just the most ridiculous things from local realtors, just like idiots every day.
Oh, dude, they're so bad.
So do you think having the right realtor having a good realtor is a game changer when it comes to buying your home and getting into a good equity position?
100%. I have a perfect example. Won't say any names, but I know a friend who had his mother's house listed by her sister, who was a realtor but didn't know anything.
Yeah.
This home was on the east side, actually. It was a 2-story, 2-car garage. And it was nice. It had a decent lot. I think it had a pool and everything. It was actually already fixed up, but the house it was like really, really nice. Probably had like 60 to 80 grand done to it, like a lot.
Yeah.
And it was listed like 60, 70K under list price and under value price, but it only had like 5 pictures on it. And it like sat there forever and they basically ended up selling it for like 480. They could have got probably 80 grand more. This was literally in the last like 2 months.
Wow.
But they had pictures of it that like there were only maybe 8 top, and you couldn't see anything, and it was on an iPhone picture. So when you do an iPhone picture,
oh god,
it's instead of it being in the full frame, it goes to like half frame.
So it looks terrible.
Yeah, 100%.
So bad pictures.
Yeah,
so you're
horrible.
saying bad pictures cost them $80,000.
Big time, because no one could even tell what it was.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, yeah,
and it was like a $530K house. Like, who's going to go look at that?
Yeah, you're going to think something's wrong with it. There's iPhone pictures? Absolutely.
Yeah,
okay,
right.
so just, total stupid move on that realtor's part.
Right.
Cost their client, their sister, a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
Damn. So you definitely have to have the right person in your corner. So are you the right person to have in your corner? Do people want to, if they're going to buy a house,
in all honesty, it depends what you're trying to do. If you are really needy, probably not, to be honest. I got a lot of stuff going on. I'm not trying to be an asshole, but for real.
Yeah.
But
so
if not, I can definitely hook you up with the correct person who's going to help you, or get with someone who's at least have some decent experience, but is willing to really stick by your side the whole time, not just, BS you, and actually knows their stuff. I would say at least does at least 20 transactions a year, and that's not really asking that much if you're doing something. Maybe 15 lowest.
So if you're looking for a realtor, if you post on Facebook, hey, I need a realtor, I'm looking for a home, you're going to get like 30 DMs from everybody who's got a realtor friend.
Right.
And if you want to vet those guys, what's the easiest way to vet these realtor people? How do you know that you have a good realtor on your hands?
A lot of them, you could look them up on Zillow. Usually Zillow tracks them, unless they just really don't do anything, then they might not be there, or they might be brand new. Just look them up on Google.
So you can Google search their name on Zillow?
Yeah, and see if they have some reviews, at least have some like experience in the game,
Okay. Interesting.
I do that with listing agents all the time to see who I'm talking to. And to see like how I need to go about these transactions the correct way.
Gotcha. So let's talk about life before real estate, right? So you says you were working construction.
Yeah. So
you could lift a wheelbarrow over your head.
Maybe sometimes. But yeah, no, I grew up, my stepfather did a lot of construction out here in Vegas, did like a lot out here in Vegas. And right out of high school, even in high school, I was already basically working for him. And I did construction for about 4 years, ran crews, did basically everything. I did not really much outside, but basically anything on the inside of a house. Mm-hmm. Did a lot of delivery stuff because I found I can be a lot more efficient, just because I was younger and I had like the
stamina.
Exactly. So for probably like two strong years, maybe like a little bit less, I was just delivering tile, like breaking my back all day, all night for that guy.
I recall a story from you. You're the kind of guy who just, digs his head down, just puts his head down and just goes to work,
Right.
And you just do
when
it
needs to be,
you do it till exhaustion.
Oh,
You remember that story you told me about?
Oh, dude,
box truck?
for real. No, I crashed like 3 vehicles growing up because I would fall asleep. I was working so much and so hard. I would be like 4 or 5 o'clock would roll around. I'm still driving out there, delivering tile or doing something. I'd be starting at like 4 a.m., bro. Mm-hmm. And I'll be doing that all week and trying to work out. And it's not working out. But yeah, I got to the point to where I literally was not allowed to drive the vehicle trucks anymore because I was a liability to the insurance.
Like people might be thinking you have like, what's that, disease where you fall asleep, like narcolepsy or some
right.
shit?
I haven't had it ever since. It was just then. So
you were just then. So
I was literally killing myself.
Literally working your ass off. Okay, so the dude works hard. So you have to work hard to be in real estate?
Honestly, yeah, it's definitely a grind,
What's the grind? I mean, everybody thinks, it's Starbucks,
well,
Instagram.
To be honest, you can make a fun life like that. You totally can, but it doesn't mean you're not doing the work still. Like you're under an immense amount of pressure, especially if you have a lot of stuff going on. You essentially have one of the biggest investments of one of your, probably close friends or whoever,
whoever your client is, you're helping them.
You're trying to take care of them. You don't want to mess up anything. And, if you lose them a grand or two, like you should be able to cough it up or, make sure that don't happen because that's going to be costing you. So,
yeah. I mean, I think reputation is everything in this business, right? Mm-hmm. Especially in real estate.
Oh, yeah. Like, in a smaller-ish market like Vegas, I would say.
I mean, Vegas is small compared to like
Florida.
LA.
Yeah.
Compared to Florida, yeah.
Right.
I mean, but it's still a really big town. I mean, because I live in New Orleans right now, and there's the population of New Orleans is like 350,000 people, I think.
Oh, geez.
And
Yeah.
Vegas is like what, 2.5 million right now? 3?
Yeah, we're pretty big.
Yeah,
I
it's
guess.
huge.
Yeah.
When I come back to Vegas, I'm like, oh, thank God I'm in civilization again. Like New Orleans is just like, as soon as I got off the plane today, I went straight to the Wynn, Earth Cafe. I was like, luxury stores, nice coffee shops, you know,
Nice,
the works, you know, versus New Orleans. I'm like, you know, eating out of a little box is what it feels like.
Right.
So you did construction for a while. You did construction for a while, and then you were working yourself to death. And then when did you get into like? I mean, I guess you were in real estate doing construction, you know.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, how did you end up being a realtor?
So what happened over time is we had a lot of people I ended up running just basically the warehouse for them for a long time, and we had a really big warehouse that was like. Do you remember how big that was? Like 20,000, 30,000, 40,000 square foot?
I don't know.
It was probably like 20,000 square foot garage, really big. And it looked like basically like a little mini Home Depot. And I had to keep that full. And I was delivering like 10 to 15 jobs a week. So I'd be basically going to Home Depot like once or twice a day, you know, making the rounds, yada, yada, yada. But there was like 5 people running that, and I ended up running it all myself. And then I needed a little bit of help because we kept kind of expanding. So we ended up hiring 2 guys. And then at that time, we were doing flips for the boat lease. And then from there, we started kind of seeing, oh, well, we can buy these on the MLS type stuff too. And then I went to go get my real estate license literally to buy flips on the MLS. That's where it all started.
So you...
And that was like 2019-ish.
2019?
No, probably like 17 or 18.
So did you buy a flip when you got your real estate license?
So once we got going, I ended up probably buying one in about 8 to 12 months of getting my license. I bought a flip to live in, and then we actually ended up wholesaling that to the Boakleys for like 10 grand. I think that was the one that caught on fire.
And the Boakley brothers, for the people who don't know who the Boakley brothers are, who are those guys?
They are some investors here in town.
Okay.
They do a lot of high end, and they do a pretty good job. So
Got it. Okay. They have their own TV show or something like that? Or like YouTube? They have a big YouTube channel?
Yeah, they have a pretty big presence, YouTube and Instagram and stuff.
5 years ago, nobody gave a shit, really, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Now everybody's like, oh, you're famous on YouTube? You're a flipper?
Right.
Dude, don't you think the real estate market is like so saturated though? Like as a whole, like isn't it just annoying to you that everybody's just like, I'm a real estate investor? I feel like everybody is. You know?
Well, I think
the
issue is the term is so vague. I mean, anybody is essentially a real estate investor if you own real estate, right? So
yeah.
That's where the tricky. Yeah, exactly.
I bought a new toilet. I'm a real estate investor.
I fix my own properties. You know, I'm a GC now.
Yeah.
But there's so much depth to real estate and kind of specifics as well. So even real estate's a vague term because a lot of people will be like, okay, well, what part of real estate? You know, are you a sub 2 crazed guy? Are you are you stuck on the what are those? Novation fucking psychos right now, you know, just there's always something. You know what a net listing is?
No, I never heard of that.
Okay, it's when you you tell someone you'll buy their house for like, let's say $250.
Okay.
And
walk me through the full scenario. Home is for sale for $300?
No, so off market.
Okay, off market property. Okay.
Buyer direct to seller.
Okay.
Seller says yes to $250.
Yep.
I don't buy it. They say yes to $250, so I can go market it for whatever the fuck I want.
Oh, gotcha.
So now I go sell it for a big number. Let's say $350, but it's more probably gonna be like $300.
Yeah.
Let's say $350 though. Now closing costs are gonna be like $25. So now you're gonna make like $75,000.
So you go find an off market property, get them into contract, and then you go sell the contract. So it's wholesaling, but it's like the reverse wholesaling kind of. I don't know. That's wholesaling.
Yeah, it's basically wholesaling.
Yeah, it's wholesaling. Okay, but it's called novation.
It's not. You don't have to buy it. You're just gonna like now market it to the MLS or market.
Do you have to get them under
wherever.
contract or no?
You just have essentially yes. You have to have them sign an agreement.
An agreement to sell to you.
Yeah, otherwise someone else would just go in and steal it from you.
Gotcha. Yeah, as soon as you tell them about it. Oh, okay, great. I'll go direct to the seller. Thanks.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, interesting. So have you done any of that?
No, I don't really do much off market. I'm so dived on to what I'm currently doing, and I do a lot of it myself and just like a very small group. So it's going to take me some time to really where I can feather out to do a lot more stuff in the Vegas market. So I'm just not quite there yet.
So, and your specialty is the Las Vegas area market.
Yeah, definitely.
And if And the people that you service is mainly people who are looking for investment properties, right?
Yeah, that's the easiest for me.
So if you're looking for an investment property in Las Vegas, Jacob's is the guy to talk to.
For sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So do you get off market deals?
I can.
You can?
The answer to that's yes. But
that's yes.
Yeah.
All right. And then you're an expert negotiator. So, I mean, that's one thing interesting to talk about, So do you think real estate's made you like a badass negotiator or what? Or has it helped you in any way? Or do you think you're average? How do you think your negotiation skills are?
I think I have pretty good negotiation skills. I wouldn't say I'm the best. I think especially in the real estate world, I have a very good knowledge on the correct questions to ask to get the answers I want.
Yeah. That's what a lot of sales trainers are about, is like asking the right questions.
Right. Yeah. Not wasting time on BS. Yeah.
Yeah. So what sort of questions do you ask to people that make you a good negotiator? Give us an example. Teach us something.
I would say one of my bigger ones right now is you definitely want to ask, when do these sellers plan to make a decision? Because that's going to give you a lot of answers to when and where
you're looking to buy. When are you planning to, like, what's your deadline? When do you want to have a home buy?
Right? That too, but more or less I'd be speaking, like what I typically do is I call agents, right? So I'd be asking the agents, when does your sellers plan to make a decision by? And that's when I would now make my decision on when I should really press my foot on the gas and try to get this deal or not.
Does that make you an expert negotiator or just an expert, I don't even know what does that make you? That
allows me to know where and when I can do my best strike.
Okay. So you get a good relationship with the seller.
Yeah, I'm not saying like that's my only question, but that's just
that's one good question that you ask. Okay. When are they trying to sell? When are they going to make a decision? Gotcha.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That'll also give you a good example on how motivated they typically are too.
Yeah, like they're just
not right away, but yeah.
Yeah, and it'll give you a good temperature.
I would say one of the bigger ones too is don't ever be scared to ask any question. I always ask them where the offers are at. I always ask them,
Yeah, the things you're not supposed to ask.
Why are they trying to sell? What's the problem here?
Yeah.
Tell me. I try to get them to open up if they're old and crude. Try to make a not too crazy joke because they probably won't get it, but just talk slow so they can understand you and try to ask them, what do you need from me to get this going?
So you're just what do we got to do to make a deal?
Exactly. Yeah. I'm definitely the guy who's trying to figure out, how we can put this together at all times. I'll be sitting at home at night, just chilling. It'll be 8:00 at night and I'll have a deal that I'm just thinking about and I'll just start running through my head of like 100 people I'm trying to think about who would probably best fit this property. And I'll be like, oh shit, this guy. Oh shit, this guy.
So you just be like, okay, so you're constantly in deal flow.
Yeah.
Thinking about deals. Who's going to buy this deal? Who needs this deal? Who wants this deal?
Right.
Or who would be this a good home for? Who would this be a good home for? That sort of stuff. That's interesting.
Yeah.
You ever shut that off? And is it always going in your brain?
I'm able to shut it off, but it's hard for me to turn back on. So it sucks to turn off. That's why it's hard for me to take weekends off too.
I don't think you should take weekends off, man. I think weekends, unless you need a day to recoup your brain, maybe one day. But I think if you take too much time off, 2 days is a long time to take off.
Yeah.
Just from your
especially
your
if you're
routine.
Really deep in what you do.
Yeah.
Or let's say someone's doing some day trading or something. I'm sure you take 2 or 3 days off. They go, oh fuck.
Yeah, you lose track of everything.
Yeah.
That's one thing I've been trying to do is when I'm trying to I have my own business, and so I'm constantly trying to make sure that I'm doing the right things to keep my business going. And so if I step away for too long, then I forget everything that I've been working on.
Right.
So then it's you got to keep good notes of everything that's happening in your business, everything that's happening inside of your head, so that way you can come back to it and pick it up when you do take a day off.
Yeah, true.
But I really don't think that you should be taking weekends off, especially if you're under 40. You should be working your ass off. Unless you're at a 9-to-5 job and you just like to clock out and zone out, then go for it. But if you're an entrepreneur, which as a real estate agent, you are your own boss. You're an entrepreneur.
Yeah, that was one thing I guess I'm a little unique with is I've never really had a 9-to-5, and when I did have one, it was because I was going through a rough time, and it was just I was upset. I was very upset.
You were upset being at a 9-to-5?
Yes.
Why? What's upsetting about a 9-to-5?
Oh man, I wasn't able to go and do what I wanted to do to make me the most amount of money, I guess you could say. I don't know.
Sure. You felt I wasn't able to.
Yeah, I guess it was more the waste time. I was just And at that time, I think I was getting maybe like $1,400 every 2 weeks, bro. It was ass.
Yeah.
And I was there, you know, from like even some like overtime here and there, but it was not fun. I'm just there thinking about what other things I could be doing. You know?
Dude, that's exactly how I felt when I finally quit my job. Was just like you know, you come to work, you do your job, and then if there's nothing happening, you're just sitting there because you have to be there.
Yeah.
And that was one of the most difficult things for me, was just sitting there because you have to be there because you're getting paid to be there.
Right.
And I was like, dude, I could be doing like 1,000 things right now other than this. Like,
Right, yeah.
And that's when I was like, fuck it. I'm going to just go do my own fucking thing. This
Right.
is a waste of my life. I don't want to look back and go think about all the hours I spent just sitting there doing fuck all, you know? When it's a nice day outside, you know what I do? I want to go to the fucking lake today. You
Right.
know?
Yeah,
like,
100%.
I want to go on vacation next week because I got all my work done and there's nothing happening.
Yeah.
You know?
I'll
That sort of
probably
shit.
go golf after this stuff for real.
Exactly, because you can, you know?
Yeah.
So, so like becoming a realtor, you know, who do you think at this point, you know, could really use like some help or advice, you know, if they're just getting into real estate, you know, did you have good mentors around you to teach you what to do? Or did you just trial and error figure this out? You know, what's made you successful in
So I've seen a
real
good
estate?
one the other day. I don't know if it was 100% to this correlation, but I've been blessed to witness so many different types of individuals on a high level that I've been able to take a little bit of what I've wanted out of each of them and kind of made it my own.
Okay. So you've learned so you've had a lot of mentors in, is what you're telling me.
A lot of mentors, and I've watched. I grew up kind of like never reading. I was in special ed up to like 7th grade for like reading and writing. Like I'm like kind of retarded, and that's kind of a chip I hold on my shoulder though too. Is like if I
You
can
don't feel
like,
smart.
Oh no, heck no.
So you don't got to be smart.
Oh no, you really don't. You just have to try. Just try. You know, 8 hours isn't trying, bro. That's you trying to stay there. That's not a good try.
Yeah.
You know? What was I talking about before that part?
You're talking about how you're special ed, you know,
Before that.
that you don't got to be smart. You don't,
I hold that as a chip on my shoulder.
Yeah.
Because if I can do all this and I can get this far in like the amount of time that I did it, I guess I just know my stuff on like what I'm currently doing, I guess. But
Yeah.
then like you can do it too. But like on top of that, like that's where a lot of my confidence comes from though too. Cause I kind of always feel like I'm stupid, but like if I can get this far, then like there's a lot more to it. Yeah, exactly.
If I can get this far, I can go further. So you're constantly proving things to yourself because you never feel like you're good enough. That's a complex.
Yeah, that kind of sucks, I guess. But
Yeah, it does suck. So you're in. So I mean, I know that you're doing good, but I mean, like, we'd said that, you know, you recently had told me that you're, you know, one of the top 100 realtors in Las Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I mean, to be one of the top 100s, you're doing pretty good, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, are you making 6 figures?
Yeah.
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 I mean, multiple 6 figures.
Yeah.
Yeah. So are you making $1 million a year yet?
I don't think I'm going to do that this year. It's just gotten too hard, but I think
Yeah.
we were on a good trajectory until the market got insane.
Is it until it got too hot?
Yeah. Well, the issue is the inventory is so low that everybody is kind of fighting for the same thing. And one other thing that kind of sucks about it is I'm kind of good friends with like kind of everybody here in town. So I'm always trying to be really careful to not step on toes too. Cause I'm not out here to piss people off. I'm here to like make friends. You know, it's not the way I roll.
Sure. I think some people might disagree with you in that, you know, business is business, friends are friends. You know what I mean?
To an extent, but I'm not going to go out there and step on someone's throat when there's literally no reason for it. Like I can't even keep up with what I currently have going on. Like I'm not out there trying to steal deals. I'm good, bro.
Sure. Okay.
If I get to a point to where like I maximize what I'm currently doing, I guess we can speak about that another time when it actually comes to business. But at this point, I'm not. I'm cool.
You're not a shark, is what you're trying to say. What animal would you say describes your behavior?
I'm a bluefin shark.
A bluefin shark?
Yeah.
What's that? I thought
they'll fuck you up, but like they're cool.
They're cool. Okay.
Yeah.
So they're a chill shark, but
I think it's a blue tip
got
or
teeth.
a black tip, some shit like that. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. So So for people who are, just getting started into the real estate game, and this is like such a cliche question because you hear it all the time on social media, but it's like, if you want to get started in real estate, where's the section to start? Like, there's guys out there like Pace Morby. He says, get into seller financing, zero money out of your own pocket.
Yeah.
Find deals like that. What's your advice?
If you can do it, I think it's just extremely difficult, and it depends where you're trying to go.
Yeah. Do you think right now is a good time for seller finance deals? Like if there was a good time, would this be a good time or a bad time?
I would say they're always a good time for the right person. Kind of going back to what I was saying, or when you said is it always right for someone to buy a house? I think there's specific times for people when it is the right time. But if you're able to get like that crazy swing deal just because like the guy, then that's a different story. But
yeah,
going to a real estate agent, hoping that you get the best deal, and you're not really in a good position to even find the best deal. Like it's very unlikely. Unless you're in a market that is not very crazy.
Yeah. Which, there could be a lot of rural areas where there's a lot of opportunity, Yeah,
100%.
Maybe not big markets, but so you're saying it just really depends. It's the same as it's always been. If the time is right for the guy who's looking to sell, but in my brain, when I think of like seller financing, I'm thinking, okay, what are the incentives for the seller, right? Okay. I guess.
So that's where it comes from. The good deal aspect. Most sellers are not going to give you the deal that you want.
Yep.
Unless they are distressed or they have to sell.
Okay.
So that's
looking
where
for motivation.
Your thought process of where is the seller getting out of this is kind of, unless you have so many deals to really care about, not worth it, unfortunately. If you get what I'm trying to say. I do understand you do need to understand like the thought process of the seller so that you can best come at them, right? But at the same time, I wouldn't spend too much time on why it works for them versus how you can find them.
How you can find them? Because you're saying I'm
big production over systems.
Say that one more time?
I'm big on production over systems.
What do you mean by that?
Like produce.
Just get a deal.
Essentially, yeah.
Just start getting deals. Don't worry about which type of deal.
Don't ruin your reputation. And if you do get something and you're just kind of like trying to figure it out, like I would have someone who really knows their shit who's going to commit to that deal that you are sending out before you tarnish your name to an extent too. But especially like in a smaller market. But just be careful with it a little bit too, But yeah, 100%. Just get stuff done and don't worry too much on the systems in place at first.
Yeah.
Experience will put everything together. If anything, you're going to change it up later anyways.
And so you primarily focus in selling homes to investors and that sort of stuff, right?
Yeah.
So that's like your main clientele.
Yeah.
So do you think, because I was talking to one of my buddies who lives here in Las Vegas, and he was saying, I'd love to own an Airbnb, but they're just so expensive, because investors have just ruined the market and they've made the prices so high. It
is true to an
everything.
extent, but you're just going to find the right one. I would say if you're trying to do that, go to either the Spring Valley area or the Green Valley area. In Green Valley, look for 3,000 square foot, 3-car with a pool like under like $600K. That you can make the lot and everything cool. You could probably find one that's like dated. That thing's probably going to rent out like $5,000 to like $8,000 a month on Airbnb stuff, and try to find like an assumable rate. You could probably get someone to.
That's a big thing right now.
Yeah, so especially those ones because they're not super fixed up, and a lot of people don't have the cash to fix them up.
So with assumable, let's talk about that specifically. Assumable loans. I don't think a lot of people know about this. So there's Pace Morby kind of talks about this. Maybe Grant Cardone, I don't know, but I've seen Pace talk about this. Where an assumable loan is where right now interest rates are at 7-8%, right? That's where they're sitting. 3 years ago, rates were 3%. So you got a 5% difference in rate. So the people who bought their home 3 years ago, when the rates were still low, there's in some scenarios you can actually go back and take over their payments. Basically, get that loan transferred into your name. So now you've got a 3% interest rate, rather than an 8%, and you just pay the seller the difference out of pocket.
Yeah, if that's the that would be more of an ownable carry. But an assumable is the owner is now completely out of the picture.
Well, yeah, you transfer the loan into your name, right?
Correct. Yeah, and then there wouldn't be any more seller involved.
Yeah.
Now you would just be taking care of it. But you just need to make sure that that bank is okay with it. I've heard of a lot of horror stories about it. So you
Really?
should be kind of careful. Like sometimes, especially in a bank, they don't want to like give out 3% loans to people. So they just want these things to get sold. So
they want to close them out and get
exactly.
the 8.
They're going to take their sweet time. So expect a longer close. I would say 2 to 3 months unless they've already kind of started it.
Yeah.
But I've heard of some people will like wait in 6 months and it didn't even go through. So just you got to be careful on who you're dealing with and
Do you know what lenders to watch out for?
No, because I don't do it enough. But just call them and talk to people that have already done it. Just talk to people in your sphere. You'll figure it out.
Okay. So, but if you have a good realtor, they should know about assumable loans.
Yes, real estate kind of goes back to that vague term of, are you trying to do investing or are you just trying to like go buy a house?
Yeah.
Do you want the whole experience where we're going to take pictures out front with a key, or do you want to get a good deal on a house?
Yeah.
That's basically where I would.
And you
put
sell,
that.
I want to get a good deal on a house.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not trying to say people who do that are not going to get you a good deal, especially if they've been doing it long enough. But usually those are the reasons for that, is because they want you to feel like they did something for you.
Sure, yeah. They need to do some sort of service, take you out to lunch, take you around.
Yeah, exactly.
Show you the neighborhood, give you recommendations. I have a really good realtor like that in New Orleans where like we didn't know. I think that's a good idea. If you're moving to a brand new city and you don't know where to live.
Those are the realtors you want.
Those are the realtors
they'll show you around, they'll take care of you.
Yeah.
I'm going to not do that.
You're going to help the people who are living in Las Vegas currently.
Right.
Who want to get into a bigger home and they want to get a good deal.
Yes.
Those would be the individuals, and then investors are investors. They need a good deal on a property to flip or hold or rent or whatever, turned into PadSplit. So I remember you saying that because I don't know, a lot of people probably don't know about this yet because it's kind of like the new Airbnb. Like it's like an Airbnb mini hotel type thing is almost how it is. PadSplit. How would you describe PadSplit?
It's cool. It's weekly rentals and it's by room. So I mean, a lot of people will go on Facebook Marketplace and say, "Hey, you can rent my room out for whatever."
Yeah.
But it's essentially that they not Facebook Marketplace, but PadSplit themselves become the property managers. They have all the renters. And it's almost like a Zillow company to an extent because it's so big, or like you said, actually like an Airbnb company where you're paying them a specific fee and they are going to supply you with the renters that are going to go in there. You just kind of make sure that the home isn't falling down like every month or so. So
to sort of like recap, PadSplit is essentially you buy a home, you section off the room. So if it's a 4-bedroom home, you have 4 PadSplits inside one home. So
it'll be you buy a house. And the ideal situation would be like a 7-bedroom, 3-bath.
There's not a lot of 7-bedroom homes out there.
Well, you got to figure it out. You got to go find the right ones for the right price, and where it makes sense for you to do now the cost of the renovation for it to still make sense for the deal too.
There's a lot of underwriting in the deal.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're not easy, but they're possible.
But the gist of it is you buy a home that's got multiple bedrooms. You rent out each bedroom.
Essentially, make it a motel.
Make it a little mini motel, they pay by the week.
To the PadSplit company, but you get paid differently. So,
do you think a lot of people are going to opt in for that? Like,
the issue is affordable housing is so difficult to get right now.
But when I think of affordable housing, I think like crackheads off of MLK and downtown
Unfortunately,
Las Vegas.
there's a lot more people to that too. There's a lot of a lot of it's not nightlife, but people that are working on the strip. Bartenders that are just here for a couple months, they just need a place to stay real quick. I heard a good one the other day too, was just like newly single people. Like they just need to go find a place real quick for, a couple months.
Cheaper than a hotel. Yeah. $200 was it like $200 a week, potentially $300?
I think it's like, it ranges between, I think like $150 on the low to like $300 a week on the high, and probably an amazing area, or something. But
yeah,
I heard the magic numbers like between like $700 and like $850 out here a room.
A room for month.
Yeah, and that's just the room.
I mean, that's pretty cheap for rent.
You get a little bit more if like you have your own bathroom.
Because if you're gonna go rent your own house for $800 a month, exactly. I don't want to step inside what $800 a month would look like.
Exactly. Right. But so you're doing it per room, right? So you could have 7 bedrooms in there times 8. There's $6,400.
Yeah. So you think that's gonna take off? PadSplit? I think there's a small market.
We'll see.
For
I
it.
think I do think it's going to be more of a Airbnb thing, but it is very new still, and they do have a cap on the amount that they're going to allow. I think they're already up to like 80%. So, and that's been going for about 3 or 4 years now, maybe a little bit longer. It's obviously, you know, ramped up over time because it's becoming more known, but
Yeah.
I bet you we only have maybe 3 to 4 years more to keep collecting them, depending on what the market does. If the market all tanks, we'll see what happens. But I think Vegas has a pretty good base to really set off. And I think even if it does drop, it won't drop too much. Even if it does go a lot, it really doesn't matter. I think it's still going to come back up.
Well, I mean, yeah, Vegas crashed. Vegas was like the number one market in the United States for foreclosures back in like 2008, 9.
Yeah, it makes sense.
So I mean, we're one of the fastest growing and one of the fastest to shut down.
Yeah,
You know,
makes sense.
and which is a weird city to be in because it's a very transient town. You know,
Right.
but I think there's a lot more stability coming to Vegas with
That's what I was thinking. There's
all
so
the big
much.
sports teams.
Yeah.
Like you got the Raiders are coming, or the Raiders are here, and we've got the hockey team now. And we've got what other sports teams are coming to Vegas? Aren't we getting like
Basketball's coming, Aces, if you didn't say that.
Oh yeah, we're getting another Oakland A's or something
I
like
think we're
that.
getting volleyball now or something too.
Volleyball.
What else?
Lots of shit.
Yeah, there's a lot. Well, I bet you we're gonna get a soccer team one of these times too, for sure.
I guess all the sports
guarantee
teams. Dude, I was watching a reel with Josh Galindo, actually.
Yeah, he's cool.
Yeah, he's a cool dude. And he was on the guy is the guy who goes around with the camera and asks business people, you know, like, hey, what you know, what'd you do to be successful? It was the School of Hard Knocks, that guy.
Oh, cool.
So School of Hard Knocks was interviewing
I didn't
Josh
see that.
Galindo.
Dang it.
Yeah,
That's cool.
I think I'll send it to you. But School of Hard Knocks was interviewing Josh Galindo, and he asked him, like, you know, what do you think about, you know, sports teams coming to Vegas? He's like, honestly, sports teams are just a big distraction, big waste of time. And I was like, dude, I agree with you already. Like, I know I'll vibe with this dude because I've always thought that sports teams are just a fucking distraction. Like,
Yeah,
they're there to keep.
I agree. I mean, I think they're cool to watch. It's fun. You know, I did a lot of sports in high school, but yeah, I'm not. You won't really find me.
You're not.
I'm not going somewhere specifically for myself to watch a specific game.
You don't sit at home and watch the Sunday NFL, do you?
No.
Yeah, you don't watch that shit. You got fucking things to do.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Yesterday, I think I watched like 3 of the Avengers though. But I mean, I'm doing work at the same time, but yeah. I mean, like that. There you go. Yes, I'd rather watch the Avengers than football, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. That's when.
But I you know, it's funny. I kind of watch movies to recharge.
Yeah, it's
So
like,
maybe it is a work thing because the reason I watch, maybe not the Avengers, but a lot of movies that I watch, like Great Gatsby, Wolf of Wall Street, like I've watched them like 100 times. Like I just throw them on all the time.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, I need to recharge. I need to see some tight shit, you know?
well, that's different. I mean, I don't know. Football doesn't motivate me. Volleyball doesn't motivate me.
Yeah.
If I want to recharge, you know what I watch? What do I like to watch? I want to recharge. Actually, I just rewatched Game of Thrones, and that was a great.
You recharged with that? I would just dick off with that. I think I watched that whole I remember when you told me about that.
What's that?
It was right when COVID happened. You guys like were already into
Hardy
it.
and Game of Thrones,
I think it was
yeah.
like the last season you were already watching it. It's like 3 or 4 seasons, right?
Yeah,
I watched all of it in like 7 days.
it was good.
All of it.
Yeah, that was during COVID though.
Yeah.
There wasn't shit going on, but yeah, I mean, there's shit like that out there. I don't know. I just don't think sports are. When I think of sports, I think of like the big arenas, and you look back at like Roman times, and you see the Colosseum, and all the Colosseum was just a way to keep the people distracted, you know, during tough times.
Yeah.
And I think it's for the 9 to 5 people. I don't think it's for business owners or entrepreneurs. And if you are a business owner and entrepreneur and you're watching sports, you're going to the game and you're networking with other people who are high up in the box offices and shit. You're doing business.
I think there's a lot of aspects to it. You know, some people do to go there to release, and that's just what they love. I mean, I know a lot of people have the love of sports because they grew up with it in the family, and that's what the families did, you know.
Yeah.
Not so much mine, you know, but I've watched many. You go into like kind of a family house, you know, and they actually have honestly sports stuff, memorabilia, usually all over the house, you know. And I know we don't really connect to that kind of stuff, right? But
No.
It's always like that fuzzy feeling though too, which kind of makes me feel like, well, this is probably the right way. I'm always just kind of open to seeing other people's perspective is kind of where I'm going with that, I guess. But I agree with what you're saying.
Yeah.
But I understand why other people do what they do.
I understand why people do it. I mean, so
it is more of a dick off time, to be honest, but it's
is.
usually like their release too.
Well, it could be a dick off time with family, so maybe it's not a bad thing.
Right. Yeah,
But
yeah, exactly.
We both
yeah.
come from like, you know, broken households multiple times. We got our own fucking issues, you know. where it's like one of those things, you know. But interesting, man. So do you follow like any influencers, like when it comes to like, you know, real estate? Like, who do you look up to in the real estate game? Who do you think, or let me ask you this question, you know, who's like the one person in the real estate game that you go, damn, if I was doing that, like my life would be set, you know, like shit, if I can get to that level that this guy's at. Do you see anybody like that out there, or do you have your own vision that no one else is doing?
Here or
just in anywhere in the world? I don't know. Somebody that you look up to and go, damn, that dude's fucking got it going on, or a girl's got it going on. You know,
I don't want to like say it's like a hype thing. I would say right now, I
you just admire what they're doing.
I correlate pretty well with Eric Klein right now, to be honest. He's pretty cool.
I've seen that guy. What's he do?
He's a wholesaler. He does pretty good job, but he's also, you know, in the trenches himself all day. He like enjoys that kind of stuff, and that's what I think makes him really good too.
Yeah,
he's able to really show his team like where they need to go, more of a leader type of a thing. You know,
Eric Klein, he's down in Arizona. Is that where he's at?
Honestly, no? I don't know. I need to look, but no, I don't think he's in Arizona unless he recently maybe went down there. I know a lot of people are starting to move there a little bit more to do.
Phoenix
more.
is popping off right now.
Yeah. There's multiple people out here in Vegas who are going down to Phoenix too. So
yeah, that's cool. That's cool, man.
I think out here in Vegas, or maybe even like someone else. What else? I want to get into bigger and better stuff one of these times. Like I am a big believer in flipping is not a generational wealth. You know,
what do you think builds generational wealth?
Time and
yeah,
actually compound interest / I think housing too. I believe in it. I think.
So what are you doing right now to build, you know, generational wealth for your future family? Anything?
Yeah, I mean. I want to get more on my investing stuff. Like I think maybe next month I want to start. Actually, I'll get with you. I want to do probably like 1,000 or 2 going into
investing.
And yeah, just I want to start it now because I know, you know, from 20 to 25 years is a big jump, and like 20 to like 30 years is like a massive freaking jump. You know, on the compounding scale. Mm-hmm. So I think it's like if you start doing like $400 for 20 years, it's like the same thing, or $400 for 30 years. It's like the same thing as doing like $400 for like, or $4,000 for like 20 years. It's like the same outcome almost.
So you're playing around with a simple or a compound interest calculator.
Yeah.
Yeah. You definitely should go. You guys, if you want to figure out, you know, your investment goal or like whatever lifestyle you want to live in, like, you know, 20 or 30 years from now, what you need to do is you need to work backwards. So you need to look at how much money everything that you want costs, your ideal life costs, and then work backwards. Okay, you're going to need $20 million. So how much do I got to put away to make $20 million? So you go online, you search a compound interest calculator, and you plug in, you know, if I put $1,000 away a month for 30 years, use the number 9%. Okay, because 9% interest is like the minimum that you should be able to get. And so anytime so plug it in there, put 9% interest in there, and then I totally lost train of my thought here.
Put 9% interest in there, and then do, you know,
however much you're going to put away.
Yeah, exactly, $1,000,
and then over
that 30 years, and it'll kick it out.
Interest rate 9%. How much money you're going to put away? How many years you're going to be compounding? Yeah, there you go. That's how you do that compound interest calculator. But yeah, you start backwards from that. Mm-hmm. And you can figure out where you want to go.
Just take a Sunday and go watch a shit ton of YouTube. You'll figure it out.
Yeah, that's true too. Or follow me, listen to my videos, listen to my podcasts. I'm gonna drop a lot more financial sense content on my channel because it's something that I'm taking a really big deep dive into because my investment strategy has kind of changed from what I've been doing to what I'm doing now. Is like I'm looking at anything, if I can't at least get 9% interest return on anything that I'm doing, it's not worth it. Yeah. Because you can get 9% interest by basically just investing in the S&P 500 and you don't have to do any fucking work. You just literally put it in there and you forget about it and you'll get 9% interest for 30 years. It's been a historical thing. So if you're actively working or busting your ass for anything less than a 9% return on your money, it's a big waste of your fucking time. Yeah. So if you're doing your real estate deals, make sure it's at least 10, 12% or more return on your money, you know? So whatever cash you put in, make sure you're getting at least a few percentage points higher than that.
Just depending. I think it's good to be diversified too if you are spread thin already.
But I've also seen people say, which I'm leaning more and more towards this is like, billionaires they're diversified now, but were they diversified when they became a billionaire? Probably not. They probably started off with one thing, in one section. Like Jeff Bezos, he started off, Amazon. That's all he's done. Just Amazon. And then Bill Gates, computers. That's what he does.
I think it was, I was watching one and actually name drop. Ryan Pineda was saying that if you are not at least doing 250K in whatever it is you're trying to do, like one step it up to get there first before you start trying to diversify everywhere.
Sure.
Not saying that on a specific investment, but like on what you're currently doing.
Yeah, whatever your main source of income is, if it's not 250K, then I probably wouldn't really worry about diversifying. I agree with that.
Yeah, focus on what you need to do. Get more.
Have you met Ryan Pineda?
I've known him for a long time. I've watched him. Like I kind of started back in that time.
Because he's here in Las Vegas too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to like say I know the guy because it's not like we're definitely not like that. But
yeah, you're not cool.
I'm not. Cool,
you're not enemies though.
Yeah,
you're just like
yeah, 100%.
But
no, he's pretty tight for what he does though, for sure. I mean, you gotta still give the guy respect. You can't get there just not doing dick. So
yeah, dude. I don't want to correlate his name with this, but just as a general statement, have you came across that YouTube channel, or not YouTube, Instagram channel called Ballbusters? Have you seen that before?
To an extent, yeah. I think I know where you're going. Oh, I haven't really watched it like that kind of stuff, but I think I know where you're going with that a little bit, and I think the bigger piece to take on that though too is like probably 50 to like 90% of investors lost money in like 2022, and that's most of the time that they're trying to use those type of things on people right now.
Well, what do you mean?
Well, because usually they're always talking about, they're not actually making any money on these deals, or like, watch this, he lost money on this deal or something.
I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about Ballbusters. What they do is they just call people out on their shit. Like mostly has to do with like online coaches and content creators about their millionaire lifestyles and all that shit. Like there was one. I don't want to drop any names because my video editor is going to start posting them all over my social media. So I'm just going to say there's influencers out there that Ballbusters calls out, and it's fucking hilarious because like we're in the age of dishonesty, not transparency,
Yeah.
It's just there's so much bullshit going on.
Agreed. I think there's a lot to it though too. I mean, I think, some people get to a peak and they unfortunately just can't hold it. And it does suck, but to keep a brand too, they do have to kind of show and be that person at the same time. So I think I've witnessed a lot, and I have a lot of.
You're a very fair, reasonable guy.
Yeah,
you give everybody the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, I'm a very benefit of the doubt guy. I think that's just how I am. I mean, there's usually reasons for many things, and if anything, I hope that person does better.
Yeah, whatever you're doing, if you're getting featured on Ballbusters, you're probably doing something shitty. Stop it. And Jacob says you're probably doing all right.
Yeah.
Just as an overall statement.
Just keep working harder. Fuck them. They're haters.
Yeah. No, there are definitely going to be haters because some of the shit they post on that channel, I'm like, okay. Like
peanut butter and jealous. You know what I'm saying?
Peanut butter and jealous. Like some of it is just like, jealous hype content.
Nah, but I mean, everybody has to do what they got to do,
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to say there isn't bad people out there, because there definitely is. But.
Yeah. No, there definitely are. So let me ask you this question, man. So you're in real estate right now. You're doing just fine. You're one of the top 100 realtors in Vegas. Like, what's next for you? So let me ask you the question. So what's your goal? What are you working towards?
So my bigger one right now is to create consistency. That's something I was kind of raised with, is just like, if you can keep something going here, then you're rewarded, basically.
That's all that it is, right? What? Everything.
What?
The whole fucking universe is just consistency.
Right. Yeah.
You can have anything you want. You just be consistent.
Basically.
Anything.
100%. I agree.
Like, that's what I just realized slowly. Cause like I've been doing like these 30-day challenges, like for myself personally. And I've started a couple that started out as a 30-day challenge that are just going to continue to going forever. Mm-hmm. Last month, I started doing push-ups and sit-ups every single day for 30 days. And I was like, if I stop, then I'm just going to go back to what I was before. Your chest is
looking better. I could tell, actually.
Yeah.
Nice.
My chest is looking good, bro.
Nice, son.
I look good in the mirror. But yeah, I've been doing that for like 30, 40 days now. Every single day, 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, no matter what.
Hell yeah.
Non-negotiable.
Nice.
And if I keep doing that for a year, I'm going to look good. I do it for 10 years, I'm going to be unstoppable.
If anything, yeah, you'll start trying different ways. You'll start just fucking doing handstands.
I'm already doing different ways. I do this, push-ups, anything.
Have a girl sit on your back.
Yeah, I get there. But, it's just being consistent with anything that you do is the thing that determines if you're going to be successful or not.
Yeah.
And I think everybody's very, very short-sighted. And I don't think that social media helps because there's just so much distraction constantly where your attention span is like going like, our attention span is like nothing.
Yeah.
Like it's to the point where like some days, like if you wake up in the morning and you hop on your phone, you start scrolling immediately. That's going to program your brain to already have a short attention span.
Yeah.
So then good luck trying to focus on anything throughout the day.
100%.
And it just makes you go from, phone call, email, text message, social media. Somebody liked it. Comment this, comment back.
Then you get stuck. Yeah.
And then you're just like, you didn't do anything for 2 fucking hours.
Yeah.
Because you're just like in this, low state of disorientation,
or almost, I guess, a dopamine high. How about that?
It is a dopamine high. You are chasing dopamine highs. You got big booty girls in front of you bouncing. Okay, now you got this dude's making so much money. Oh, this guy's a millionaire. Oh, this dude's got a yacht. This dude's got a Lambo. Oh, he's an online millionaire. Like if you pay attention to everything on social media, you're just going to end up being a real estate investor, a crypto investor,
all the above,
a sales coach, and a mindset guru.
Nice.
And like that's all it's going to be.
Give me $10,000.
And give me $10,000 for my services. Yeah, everything's like pay me now. I guarantee you the results, maybe.
Right.
That's,
I guess, that is one thing I'm not a huge fan of is, I think a lot of people do take shortcuts in trying to teach people. And that's one thing I take offensively. I don't like that because if I accept to teach somebody, I accept if they fail, it's my fault, literally. Like,
sure, you failed them as a teacher.
Basically, like
if they're doing if they're practicing what you're preaching,
to get even deeper with that, man. Like because I am putting time into it now, so now it's personal. Monetarily personal to me.
Yeah,
so like if it doesn't work, I'm gonna figure out how to help you figure out what I want you, what I need you to do. I don't want to say what I want you to do, but like how do I explain to this person how they should succeed?
That's one.
And there's a big piece in that middle, you know?
That's one good thing. So, I mean, like, you have a couple employees, right? That work for you?
I guess you could say that, yeah.
Okay. You got like 2.5, whatever. You got people working for you. Is it your first time hiring somebody? Like,
it wouldn't be like my first time like hiring somebody, but it would be my first time hiring somebody, but it wouldn't be my first time training somebody. I've trained many people. So sure. I do have some decent background and understanding in that.
Yeah. What do you think when you get to a point, let's say that you're in the real estate business, because most real estate people are just, solopreneurs, right? They're just out there. Right. And you've gotten to enough volume where you need to hire somebody. What was your first person? What did you have them do for you?
Are you asking what?
Who was your first hire?
Okay, my first hire?
Yeah.
Would have been, a TC, for sure.
A TC? What's a TC?
Transaction coordinator.
Okay, so somebody do paperwork.
For what I'm doing, to make sure all my paperwork's good. That is 100% essential to do what you need to do, and it needs to get to a point to where you need to have a list, because if they mess it up, like they're gonna mess up the transaction, but like you should have a list like given to them that they follow for like these specific people, or like, these specific types of buyers, sellers, whatever the criteria is too, so that they can have a checkoff list that these are, done. Like you need to do that for them. I grew up doing other people's jobs so that I can do my job, basically.
Okay.
That's how you look at it.
So the moral of the story is, make sure you train them in right to do the right things. That's one of the things. Do you have an issue finding, the right people? When you have hired people in the past? That's something I've always ran into as an issue, is finding the right people for the job. You know what I mean? Like you can train them, but if they're just not in it, then it's just not going to work out.
I agree. I think one, you are a little bit of an exception, or I should probably actually verse it in this way. I'm a little bit of an exception, as in I'm so deep in what I do, and I know a lot of people out here, and I know this market very well, that it's not typically too difficult for me to bring on people when I want and need.
Oh, because you know a lot of people.
Because I kind of already have a good idea on who would really work for it.
Yeah, they always say like the person that you want working with you already has a job.
Yeah.
Working for somebody else.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and I'm actually a pretty big believer in definitely bringing on talent, but don't be scared to, pay them a little extra. Like I had my first like assistant, and I gave him like $4K a month. A lot of people be like, that's stupid. Like, why would you do that? I'm like, dude, like, do you know the quality of person you're gonna get for like $3,000 to like $3,500 a month? Like, just cough it up an extra 500 to 1,000, you'll get 20 times better person.
So you're thinking about the quality rather than the quantity, because I feel like some in the past,
it probably depends on the role that they're doing too.
When I've hired people in the past, like I've been going for like, okay, you know what? I want somebody fresh who doesn't really know what they're doing yet. I'm gonna teach them. I'm gonna invest a lot of time into them.
If you're okay with investing in all that time, then
I'm not anymore.
Okay.
Because it doesn't work out.
Yeah.
Because they're just, maybe they
especially if you're on the higher level, like they're not gonna be able to perform.
Yeah. No, they're not gonna be able to perform, and you invest a lot of time, and if they end up not liking it because they don't know your industry or what you do, then you just wasted all that fucking time.
100%.
Which comes to another point, which is if you are a business owner, if you're in a position where you have to train people, like I'm recording everything. I'm putting everything in a video training platform, so I can just be like, hey, you're hired for this job. Here's everything you need to know. Watch these 15 videos, and then we'll talk.
Yeah.
If they make it through the 15 videos, then we'll proceed,
Yeah.
And that's
I think that's
using that as a vetting
that'll
process.
be a good thing to use for when you, again, going back to the minimalistic workload. But I think if you do try to bring on actual talent, you might need to go a little bit more personal, unless you're on that bigger scale for sure.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Well, I have one last question for you here for the podcast.
I didn't answer my goal.
Oh yeah, what is your goal? You didn't finish it up. I think we got sidetracked. So what's your goal, man? What do you got?
So I really want to do about 100 transactions this year.
So what's that mean? So if you do 100 transactions, what's that mean for you? Or why is that a goal?
Whenever some of the big dogs out here, I'm not going to do any names or anything, that they speak of doing well.
Yeah.
It's usually they start out doing about 100 a year.
Okay.
So that's what I feel is what's needed to make a statement.
Okay.
That's what I want to do. Next year, I want to hit the ground a lot harder doing some flips. I'm actually closing on a flip today. I'm closing on another one in about a month and a half.
Like your own personal flips?
Yeah, I'm doing it with Angel, actually.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And then the other one's with my broker.
Nice.
But
he'll be in here end of the week.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Nice. Angel's cool, dude. He's really cool.
We'll see.
And you see, I trained him a little bit for the investment side, but he did all the traditional stuff for himself.
Yeah. You trained him too good. Now he's out on his own.
We probably would have always. No, he was always probably gonna do his own thing. But
yeah,
it's different, man. Especially out here in Vegas. Like, I'll get back to the goal in a second. But out here in Vegas, like the Spanish market and the English market is in the Asian Mandarin market, whatever you want to call it. Sorry.
Sure.
Dude, like, they are all just very tight niched,
Yeah.
You like if you only speak Spanish, like there's no way they're gonna want to work with me. It's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
Like you can have Google Translate all day.
That's true. I mean, if there was a realtor,
there's a lot of them out here.
But it goes the same way. If there's a realtor and he only spoke fucking broken English and Mandarin Chinese, like I'm not gonna be used as my realtor.
Yeah.
I get that. Like we can't communicate effectively.
Yeah.
So you're saying he found his niche within the Spanish community.
To an extent, I don't want to like classify him in that, but but he does a good job with the traditional side. That was just one thing I've noticed. Like, a lot of if you are Spanish and you're out here in Vegas, like you should try to go after both markets for sure, because you're going to do pretty well for sure.
Sure. So back to what's your goal?
Oh, yeah,
Finish this up. You want to do 100 transactions this year?
Next year, I want to probably bring on a couple more people and start expanding, so I can more focus on just doing flips versus the grinding work of this year and last year. I want to probably end next year by at least like 5 to 10K passive income off of investments in houses and whatnot.
Net income or gross?
Net. Gross ain't shit.
Yeah, gross ain't shit. That's what everybody talks about, gross income. I did 500 million in deals last year.
You're gay. No, yeah. I mean, you could, big numbers are cool, whatever,
Yeah.
But there's just always bigger fish. Like, I just don't see the point in Even if you think you're cool, like, dude, in a year you ain't gonna think you're cool. You know, you're gonna be like, dang, I was a loser.
You're gonna meet somebody who's doing 10 times what you're doing, and you're gonna go, shit, I've got fucking peanuts.
Well, dude, like, not
here.
even so much that. Like, you should just look at it as like, I know I'm not gonna be like this in a year. Like, okay, let's say you make $1 million in a year. Like, next year, like, if you do $1 million again, like, I mean, that's cool, I guess, but like, you should probably be doing like 2 million next year, or like at least 1.5. You know, like doing a little better, whatever. You know, like, but then that also means the year before, like. I'm not trying to say you shouldn't, celebrate your wins.
Sure. I think you should celebrate your wins.
Yeah. I just don't think, you don't really have to go too hard on it. Like, just get back to work. I don't know. But yeah, so that, and actually something you kind of taught me a little bit was the compounding interest thing. I'm really, really interested in, within I want to stick to the 3-year plan. I want to have $10K a month going into those stocks or whatever it is.
Yep.
Mutual fund, right? Market. What's it called?
Invested in closed-end funds, stocks, individuals, you know, stocks, that sort of stuff. Just invest it into the stock market. You want to have 10 grand a month.
You know, I want to run that for 30 years, which would at least kick out 50 to 100 mil.
Yeah, exactly.
If I can,
that's what I'm saying.
So my thing is I want to have 10K a month net SFR income coming in. I'll go do my normal stuff every day like I'm doing now.
Yep.
And I won't even have to stress anymore because I know in 20, 30 years, I'm cool.
That's what I told my wife. I told Sarah, like, look, the lifestyle we want to have, we're going to go live it. We're going to go do whatever the fuck we want to do. But before we can have that, 10K a month has got to be put away.
Yeah.
Because in 30 years, we're going to be worth $100 million.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
you know?
Yeah.
Like, I was like, dude, it's stupid not to.
To be honest, it's probably more by then, too.
10 grand a month ain't shit.
Yeah.
It's really not. If you guys are listening and you think 10 grand a month is a lot, it's really not. Because with how much everything fucking costs, you want to go on vacation, you want to do anything fun.
Yeah.
You got to be making a couple $100,000 a year minimum. And then are you going to work for the rest of your life? No. Right. So the more you can put away, the better. But if you can put away 10 grand a month and you can wait 30 years, you're going to be worth $100 million. Do the math.
Right.
You know?
I mean, you know, and those are big numbers. I would say, you know, once you get to the 5, 6, 7K a month, like that's where people really get capped out on their income a month.
Yeah.
So just try to figure out other ways and start every year. You could realistically like make a decently smart, investment, no matter what it is. Like it could just start doing, you know, some of those, mutual funds, you know, do like we were saying, $400 a month.
Yeah.
If they get, $400 a month, for 30 years, you still end up being like a millionaire, 2 million or something like that. Like that's not that hard to do.
You can put away, I think the minimum, I think if you put away $100,000 and you let that sit for 30 years at like a 9%, 10% interest rate.
I'm trying to do like normal people shit.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I'm saying $100,000 just
not
one
normal
time.
People shit.
if you put away $100,000 one time, right, from one transaction.
Yeah, we're white. Yeah,
white privilege, I guess. I don't know. Anyways, no, it's just an entrepreneurial mindset. That's all it is.
Yeah,
everybody has the same opportunity, man. We both come from broken ass, you know, households with poor parents. You know, no one's rich in our families.
Yep.
But yeah, definitely save money, and that's like the thing that I think is gonna create long-term wealth anyways. But
yeah.
All right. So we know your goal. We know what you're working towards, which makes sense. I mean, we have similar goals. We're both working towards, you know, big financial goals and big improvements in our business, you know, which is good. And it's just that consistency that'll get you there, you know, every single day, 7 days a week, no sleep, baby. But anyways, last question, then we're going to end this podcast. We're running out of time here. You ready? Trump or Biden?
I mean, definitely Trump. Biden's a dumbass. But I think they both have their own flaws. But I 100% like no Biden, bro. Like this dude, no, it's not good. Well, so I do. Here's my theory on that is, you know, I think when you get to that age, like usually you kind of do need, you know, some oxygen tanks and stuff. Yeah. And dude, I think he just runs out of air up there. And like just literally can't think anymore.
He probably does, honestly.
Dude, like my grandpa, he has this air shit, and I thought he was just talking to like get attention for like the last like 2 years. Yeah. And now I realize this dude just like literally doesn't have enough oxygen to his brain. He just like literally becomes like a 5-year-old. Yeah. Yeah, and now it makes sense. And I'm just like, I think that's what happens to Biden, dude.
Probably. I mean, he's getting old, you know?
Yeah.
And if you look at videos of Biden from like 10 years ago, he was a totally different dude than he is now.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Although, I mean,
you probably say the same thing about
They do
Trump.
say, you know, you should probably look back and see like the things that these people have actually done for people in the last like 30 years.
Yeah.
But I'll leave it with that.
All right. Well, cool, guys. Thanks, Jacob, for coming on the show, man. It's great having you. Hopefully you guys learned something out there today that you could take home and implement into your life, whether it be about real estate, investing, or saving 10 grand a month, whatever it is. Thanks again for listening. Check us out on the next one.